So we wrote this article because although there has been a great deal of research about the effectiveness of charter schools in the literature, there has been surprisingly little attention paid to ELLs in charter schools and what works for ELLs. There have been a few studies that addressed ELLs' access to charter schools, but to help move the conversation from access to quality, we synthesized a variety of literature related to school improvement, charter schools, and English language learners in traditional public schools in order to develop a framework that describes 5 components of high-quality programs for English language learners, 3 of which we will briefly discuss in this video. The 5 are coherent school-wide model, focus on language development, building the capacity of all educators to serve ELLs, data-driven focus on continuous improvement, family and community engagement. For family and community engagement, charter schools might communicate with families in multiple languages, conduct outreach to involve organizations in their communities, and regularly engage parents in activities at their schools. For the coherent school-wide model, the first theme, it describes how charter schools might consider ELLs at the inception when they design their models and then integrate research-based practices for ELLs throughout every aspect of their design. In fact, this ability to design a model that considers ELLs from the inception is an important affordance of charter schools. The second theme in our framework is a focus on language development. This is where charter schools have the opportunity to deliver high-quality instruction to English language learners with a focus on a language lens. Researchers point out that because language and content are inextricably intertwined, effective content instruction for ELLs must pay explicit attention to language development to help ELLs learn content through language at the same time that they learn about language. Thus, charter schools might learn from the strong evidence supporting bilingual and dual language programs as they develop models to help ELLs develop academic proficiency in both English and their home language. At Community Day Charter Public Schools in Massachusetts, for example, teachers focus on developing academic language, explicitly teach vocabulary, and continuously celebrate words and nurture a love of reading through school-wide events like the annual Vocabulary Parade, where students dress up as a variety of different words. The third component of our framework, building the capacity of all educators to serve ELLs, talks about how charter schools can develop their educators. As the number of ELLs grows, more and more teachers will have to learn more about language acquisition and the research about effective research-based practices to serve ELLs. However, many of them have not yet received the training they need to serve ELLs well. Charter schools might hire teachers with bilingual skills who are committed to the mission of the school, provide high-quality, job-embedded, ELL-related professional development for their teachers, or use a co-teaching model in which an experienced teacher is paired with a novice teacher. This model serves as an effective induction and mentoring model for novice teachers at the same time that it allows 2 or more teachers to differentiate instruction in small groups. Last section, conclusions, encourages us to conduct more research to empirically test the 5 components of our framework to determine if, in fact, they are related to outcomes for English language learners and to disentangle which outcomes are more important than others. Qualitative researchers might use a case study approach, while quantitative researchers might analyze outcomes for ELLs more broadly using valid and meaningful measures to determine if the elements of our framework are in fact associated with stronger outcomes for ELLs. If charter schools capitalize upon their unique affordances and deliberately design schools that include the 5 components of the framework we outlined, they could potentially develop a range of high-quality educational options that could scale up the success of ELLs across the charter school sector.